Now turns to the business on the home front, and early signs have real estate people optimistic. Consumer editor Yvonne Zanis reports that agents say for the first time in months, prospective buyers are out in full force.
Yeah, Don, and you can bet those real estate agents are ready and waiting for them. Nationwide, January was the worst month real estate agents had seen in 7 years. And although Pittsburgh is considered one of the healthier real estate areas in the Northeast, you can bet local agents are glad to see home appetites improving. Susan HENK is expecting her second child and moving into her first home.
Scared but excited. It's the first time, so you get kind of scared.
Real estate agents are hoping more buyers are ready to put their fears about war and recession behind them and dive into the home buying market once again. If the past 2 weeks are any indication, real estate agent Joyce O'Hara says the soft housing market here in Pittsburgh could turn around fast.
For the past week, I have seen my husband maybe a half an hour one evening. I haven't been home. I've been working probably 10 to 12-hour days, 7 days a week.
A much-needed burst of activity for the local housing industry following a February with sales down 7% from the year before. Real estate agents say they're busier than they have been in months as prospective buyers turn in those wait-and-see attitudes and go out and see what's on the market.
The activity's probably increased 300%. Now, I'm not talking about sales. What I'm talking about is people are finally out looking at open houses.
Sully credits interest rates under 10%, stable home prices, and most of all, a return of consumer confidence.
During the war, a lot of people were saying maybe we should hold off. We're hearing about a recession, the war, the uncertainty of where we were going with that.
I think everybody is more relaxed. The war's over. They're more sure of what's going on. There's not as much talk about the savings and loan problem, and they've filed their income taxes. Some of them are counting on a little bit of a return from their income tax, and they're all out there.
The key will be keeping them out there and getting them to buy. It is a peaceful time as Americans celebrate the end of the war and the return of the men and women from the Persian Gulf. And there's not too much attention yet on that nagging domestic problem we have, but sooner or later those savings and loan worries are going to be back, and that national deficit, people are going to start worrying about that. But right now it's kind of in between two concerns.
People feel good right now.
Right.
Okay, Yvonne, thank you. In sport, the Pitt Panthers bow out.
But just ahead, tonight's background reports.
An early Christmas present for both realtors and prospective homeowners or those who are moving up. I'm Andy GASTMEYER with that story coming up.
And we'll write the final chapter to the latest background report, the good news, bad news on the housing market.
If you're looking to sell a house or you're a builder, these are tough times. But if you're a buyer with the money, there's some relief in sight for you in the form of lower mortgage rates. As Andy GASTMEYER reports, the new rates could bring some new interest to the markets.
It's a Christmas present to the people of Pittsburgh.
What Mike Sully, president of the Greater Pittsburgh Board of Realtors, refers to as the tumble mortgage interest rates have taken in the past several days. Look at, say, a $75,000 mortgage at 30 years, and you can understand the reason for renewed optimism. At 9.5%, the common going rate of late, the monthly payment is almost $631. But at 9%, which many lenders are now offering, the payment drops down to $603.46 a month, a savings of over $27, and nearly $10,000 over the life of the loan.
The rates moving down will trigger people reacting. Even though it's December, which is traditionally a slow time of year, rates at 9%, even if you want to call it a recession, will trigger a response.
That kind of optimism is based on the fact that 60% of the homes in the Pittsburgh market are selling for under $60,000, meaning at prices within reach of many of those on the outside looking in. But there are also a lot of houses, existing houses that is, that might sell for anywhere from $75,000 to $100,000. And that is a segment of the market that has great potential for turnover, simply because they're not building many new homes in that price category.
We have affordable housing and low interest rates, so that could make us somewhat recession-proof.
Such speculation is something Pam Frank, Pittsburgh National Bank's mortgage department manager, tries to avoid. But about this, she has no doubts.
As the rates come down, that does increase affordability.
And while on the surface a drop of 1/4 or even half a percentage point might not seem like much in terms of selling the American dream, it's a lot to those who don't have a lot of money saved up for it.
People that 1/8%, 1/4% could make or break their ratios so that they could afford a home. It's definitely going to help those types of people.
Even allowing for the fact that the lower rates are often accompanied by 3 or more points, which on our $75,000 mortgage would cost the home buyer an additional $2,250, that's not viewed as a deterrent because they can often be negotiated. The bottom line here is that at a time of year when the housing industry is traditionally struggling to move its existing inventory, there comes a chance to make a killing that otherwise wouldn't exist were it not for the drop in interest rates. But the big question now is how many who have been putting it off might be willing to make the move. Andy GASTMEYER, Channel 11 News.
Also, within the past 24 hours, the government has dropped the rate on FHA loans below 9%, but that's not expected to have much of an impact as such loans account for less than 20% of all homes sold. The search resumes for a missing heiress.
Brave the cold, you might be in for an incredible light show. It will begin about 7 p.m. and you should be as far away from city lights as possible to get the best view. Coming up, homeowners beware. Adjustable rate mortgages could give you more than you bargained for.